And we will get
Got
started.
it.
So,
Mute.
yep, mutes. Okay, perfect. So
That was a chair.
that was a chair. Hi, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to our team High Vibes, Glow Getters, Manifest Mafia, like combo team training, our smaller team training. I like these. I think they're more intimate. I think we can touch on a lot of things that we maybe don't normally touch on, like during our corporate trainings and stuff, i.e., we don't talk a lot about the amazing things that are in our products a lot anymore. Well, in the beginning, I swear we had product training after product training of why our products were fire and what the things inside of them did. And we've gotten very away from that. We have an amazing opportunity here, yes, but there's a lot of people out there that want to know why these products are amazing and why they're going to change their lives and the science behind them. And I am not really that person. So I went to the people here that are those people for me. Jenny always wants to know why something works through and through. Chris joined here because of one of Jenny's trainings on products. So, and Chris's whole life has been completely changed. So and Chris is a teacher, also very green, very organized, does lots of research. And I'll let her share her story a little bit. I'm sure you two have a whole little plan going on. So I'm going to turn it over to you guys and let you school us on all the amazing things that are in our products and why people should try them.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for the intro, Darnell. I am really excited to be on here with Chris. And because Chris joined, because of the training that I did, I actually want to let her start us off. So I think it'd be really nice to hear what all Chris has learned. I'm gonna at least say this much. There is a difference between cannabis, marijuana, and hemp, right? Cannabis encompasses both of those things. Marijuana and hemp are different. Think of this like citrus as to lemons and oranges is the best way I describe it. It's the way I tell it to people. It's a really easy thing for people to grasp especially whenever you're talking to the Karens that are like, I don't want to hear about the CBD. It's going to get me high. And you're like, no, hold on. Wait. So we're going to kick it over to Chris because she is one of these who is really nervous. She's a recovering addict. Right, or I believe, I don't want to get this wrong, but it was really important to her that she was not going to take anything that was going to jeopardize her recovery, and I respect that entirely. So you can have rest assured whenever it comes to your people as well that that's the thing.
100%, Jen, because that was one of the things that I was like battling in my mind with Darnell. I was like, I'm not doing that. Yeah, I can't do that either. And when Jenny explained that too, I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. And then she went into the explanation about your endocannabinoid system. And I was like, I never heard that before. And I'm a science teacher, so you know how to dig into that. And I will tell you that the CBD and CBG have completely changed my life. And I mean, completely. I have an autoimmune disease, very rare. My meds stopped working at the beginning of the pandemic. So I've been trying a variety of different things and nothing has been working. And I've been absolutely miserable. And when I listened to that training, I was like, well, what the hell? What do I got to lose? I might as well try it. I will tell you, in 6 weeks, my life was totally different. My skin was better. My itching had stopped. The rashes I have with open sores were gone. I don't even have words. So I was like, well, if that works, I wonder what else would work. So one of the greatest things I learned, especially about the endocannabinoid system, is that the way CBG works, CBD, yes, it calms everything down, but CBG, what was fascinating to me is that it actually plugs into our system and it helps replenish all those things that the stress in our normal lives, I'm a super stressed out person, depletes. So when I started looking into that with autoimmune issue, well, that's one of the major things that drives an autoimmune disease is stress, right? And that heightens flares. And it doesn't matter what autoimmune disease you have, and you know that's rampant in our society. So to prevent yourself from getting an autoimmune disease, what is one of the best things that you can do? Reduce your stress and replenish the things that your body has lost, right? So I was so fascinated with that. I brought it to my doctor. I talked to him about it. Do you know the man actually looked it up in the room with me while we were sitting there? He looked at CBG and he was like, I got to do some more research on this. This is fascinating. I was like, I told you. So able to reduce my meds. My ultimate goal is to get off the meds that aren't working, but I just can't, I'm not allowed to just drop them all at once because I learned the hard way. That made me very sick. So that's not a good thing to do. But I will tell you, these products have completely changed my life. The other part of that is something that I was talking to Jenny about is the greens, right? So we have the CBD, which helps calm you down, the CBG, which starts to help you heal your immune system because it's plugging back in all those things that you've lost from stress, from all the toxins we ingest, from all the nonsense that we go through in our lives. And then when I was talking to Jenny about the greens, one of the other things is that also has the CBD in it, but then it has all these green things that are amazing for you. I will tell you, this is the first and only time that I have ever put greens in my mouth. And the reason is because I watched Darnell put a whole scoop in her mouth and eat it. And I thought, this girl is crazy. She's crazy. But if she can do that, they must not be horrible. I have never been able to even get past the smell of the jar, let alone put it in my mouth, right? So when I opened this, I was like, oh, well, all right, I'm gonna try it. So I actually was ready to make a video, a funny video of me trying the greens for the first time in the plain water, like it says you can do. And my kid was like this with the video and she was ready. And I took a sip and I was like, not bad. And she goes, well, that was a letdown. And I was like, they don't taste bad. And I will tell you that one of the wonderful things about the greens is, yes, it has all the nutrients and all the vitamins and minerals and things that we need in our green veggies. But even better than that, those green veggies feed the good bacteria, viruses, all the things that live in our gut that are good for us. It feeds them. That's called prebiotics, right? Then after that, it also has probiotics in it that build all that up. The more probiotics that are good for you in your system that you have, the better off your health will be. Let me tell you something else about that. One of the things that we have rampant in our society because of the depletion of all the garbage and everything that we eat is called leaky gut syndrome. And what that really means is that you have porous places in your intestines that allow all the garbage that your body's supposed to be filtering and expelling that goes into your system. What that does is then it kicks up your immune system. Your immune system starts attacking your own body. And what is that called? An autoimmune disease. So when you start to heal the gut and heal that leaky gut syndrome, and even if it's just a little bit, it reduces all that inflammation in your body, which then can help, I don't want to say prevent, because I know that's not something we can say, but it definitely helps reduce the incidence, or if you do have an autoimmune disease, it helps to heal you from the inside out. And that, I swear to you, is what has been happening to me. And that is something that I will go to my grave saying. And I physically, if you see me physically before and now, there's no question of that's what's happening to me. So with that, Jenny, I'm going to throw it back to you. So maybe you want to talk about the head and gut thing?
I thank you very much. That was excellent. I am really, first off, I want to mention a few things. You're a science teacher and you didn't hear about the endocannabinoid system. I will tell you, they've been doing us dirty, y'all. They've been doing us dirty in school. They have not been telling us what they should have been telling us all along. It is as real as your digestive system, your circulatory system. Anybody who has not heard of that, I want you to write it down right now. ENDOCANNAB. INOID, endocannabinoid, okay? Endocannabinoid system, your ECS system is what it's called. It's a very real thing. Go educate yourself on that. And anybody who comes at you about cannabis being bad for you, you are literally going to be able to look at them and say, you don't know what you're talking about. You have no idea what you're talking about, because if you did, you would realize that you have a system inside of your body that not only can use CBD and CBG, that it actually produces things called cannabinoids as it is, and that just like everything else, when we reach a certain age, that starts falling apart. And unfortunately, some people are just born with things that don't work, right? Some people are just born deaf. Some people are born blind. Some people are born with major hearing issues, but maybe not completely deaf. Some people are born with major endocannabinoid deficiencies, but maybe not completely gone, right? These things are very true. And if you start looking at it like that, you realize how powerful these products are and how much that we have really been, I don't want to say forced to believe, but I'm going to go down a rabbit hole real quick. Okay. I'm just going to give you guys some food for thought, and then I'm going to tell you what we actually prepared for the training today. So I'm not really going to cover CBD and CBG because I think Chris did a fabulous job. If you guys have any other questions, there is another training that's posted. It was the training that Chris joined from, and you can watch that one too. And it has a whole bunch of information. I'm going to cover mushrooms because I did a lot of research on mushrooms, and oh my God, you guys, my mind is blown. I have a whole new rabbit hole to go down. Okay. So get ready for some more new stuff. But back to the original thing I was going to say, Rockefeller. Who knows the name Rockefeller? Right? The railroad tycoon, right? He's also like one of them was railroads, I think. There's actually two. One was railroads, one was oil, are actually the same people who founded the American healthcare system as we know it today. Oh yeah. Okay. So I'm not going to go any further than that, but let's just say that after he founded that thing, the oil thing, and they realized that it's a very bad thing for one person to have control of all the oil in the in the countries. So we have to split this up amongst BP and Amoco and all the oil companies that we know today. But guess what? We still have one healthcare system. Okay, so that being said, educate yourself. There's a lot of information out there. Okay, Google is available to everybody. I like to call it Dr. Google for all of my doubters out there. I said I consulted Dr. Google today because everybody can go consult Dr. Google. If you didn't learn, if you didn't go, not, I don't mean it like that. I went to college, and they did teach us in college that you pay attention to .org, .edu, and there's a couple others, but like .coms and .nets aren't really exactly reputable sources. You know, you got to kind of be careful with those ones. There are some, like, you don't rely on BuzzFeed. You guys make sure you're getting reputable sources when you're doing your information, but you can find all of this stuff out there. Okay, I promise you. I'm gonna tell you something right now. My most interesting thing that I found when I was doing my research is that I'm gonna look at my phone while I'm reading, because I actually took a whole bunch of notes as I was going through. Mushrooms are more closely related to humans than they are to plants. Mind blown. Okay. The molecular structure. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay. So here I actually quote, I just copied and pasted this. Okay. In other words, the DNA in fungi more closely resembles the DNA inhabitants of the animal kingdom. Only a few tiny changes in our DNA structure sets us apart, giving us our variations in eye, skin, and hair color. We are technically all related and similar to the mushroom. Some mushroom can even move or seem to crawl. No plant can do that, but we can. The mobility is achieved through the flagella, which is a tail that whips like the sperm cell. So these are the cells that actually have the motility. So whenever you actually go and you start researching a little bit more about mushrooms like I did, I actually found out that not only do they do that, I'm going to skip ahead here. They secrete digestive enzymes and then absorb nutrients from their surroundings. Mushrooms are actually into a classification. It's a fungi. Okay. So fungi lack chloroplasts, which are the things that turn plants green, right? The things that like they take in the sun and they make it into their food and then the plants grow, right? Mushrooms don't grow like that. Mushrooms grow by secreting digestive enzymes like we do and getting nutrients from their environment. If you've ever watched anybody grow mushrooms, which I have because I'm very interested in the whole process of it. But so I follow a guy who was doing this last night, and he was so meticulous about like any sort of bacteria, the room had to be very still. And I was like, the whole time I was watching, I was like, why does the room have to be so still? It makes sense now, because if you're moving the air in the environment and a mushroom is breathing the air in the environment, they then could be breathing in some of the, the negative, the more bacteria like things. Mushrooms are very susceptible to bacteria, actually. They have to grow in like very precise conditions. So they're kind of picky, I guess, Okay. So but there's 3 reasons they're not plants. So they lack the chloroplast, they produce, nutrients differently. And then there was one other thing, and I am sorry that I don't know that I wrote that one down. I'll have to come back to that if you want to know. I'm sorry. All right, so now let's go into a couple specific things. Okay, so those are some really interesting facts about mushrooms. There is a thing that's floating around that shows you lion's mane mushrooms and actually shows them talking to each other. I forget the name of it, but there is actually like a film in the animal system that kind of connects everything together. They say they're starting to find this out. And man, you guys, I'm telling you, mushrooms are so freaking interesting. Just go look them up. Let's get back to this. Chaga. Chaga, though, is not a mushroom. Okay, so we're gonna blow your mind some more. Chaga is not a mushroom. It is actually a sterile conch that's been infected by a parasitic fungus, Enoctus obliquus. Okay, it's has a one-sided relationship with a host tree in a very small, in a very cold environment. It has like up in Siberia, I think is where they said is where most of the chaga mushrooms come from, and they grow on birch trees only. But the whole point of all of this being that all of these things, though, that we are using, the hemp, the chaga, the lion's mane, they've got these like, they're very interesting, right? Are you starting to see how like they're really unique stuff that we have here, you guys? And the reason we're using these things is because it's on the cutting edge of stuff that we probably should be paying attention to, if you ask me. But chaga is, like I said, it's this conch. And so when they have to host it, they have to leave like 30% of it on the tree. It actually kind of like changes the structure of the tree in order to grow chaga. So that being said, it is full of antioxidants and it's used to boost immunity. These are some things that it can help with. It reduces inflammation, especially in the gut. This is chaga mushroom that we're talking about right now, right? Which helps with like IBS. It helps fight harmful bacteria against the leaky gut. The same thing that Chris was talking about. This is the thing. I breastfed my children to 6 months old specifically because of the leaky gut thing. I was very educated in that when it came down to nursing my children and how formula and actually putting those heavy things that we have in our formulas into children's bodies. This is not meant to knock anybody, by the way. This is just education for like, we start in America by formula, and it is very accepted here. And we are starting at that age of leaky gut. At that age, when you are a child and you are taking in a formula fed, you are starting with leaky gut. If you have issues, I think it'd be very interesting personally to see if there is some sort of correlation between the two, but that's just for another story for another day. Anyways, I say it's all starting screen sharing. She's showing the chaga here. Okay, awesome. So it also helps to fight cancers. There have been studies that have been done with chaga mushroom that have shown up to a 60% reduction in tumor cells in the liver specifically. Similar results have been also seen in prostate, breast, and colon cancer, although of course more research is needed. But hey, just in case any of us has a family member, you guys, or something, I know we can't claim these things. You cannot make medical claims, but you can tell your people to go look it up if they do. You know what I mean? You might want to research chaga. Oh, you gotta breast cancer diagnosis. Let's like look at this, maybe. Who knows? I would want to know everything personally. Insulin dependent people with PCOS, type 2 diabetes, you should really pay attention to this one too. It lowers blood sugar. It also can lower cholesterol. Chaga mushroom can. It helps by doing so, helps it lowers cholesterol, which helps reduce your risk of heart disease. It also helps increase the HDL with the good cholesterol. It helps increase the good cholesterol, which can help repair your arterial walls. So if you're somebody who has been suffering with cholesterol issues, you might want to look into chaga. And also it is good for skin because of the melanin in it. Who would have known? Melanin. There's melanin in chaga, which is why it's good for skin. So there's a whole bunch of stuff about chaga, which is one of our things that comes in our Glow Getter gummy. In case you don't know, that is one thing that we have here. I actually drink a coffee in the morning. I mix my coffee in the morning because I really want us to come out with a coffee that has lion's mane and chaga in it. I think that would be amazing because I currently have one by a different company that I get off of Amazon. But anyways, lion's mane is another mushroom and it is also amazing. Lion's mane, it's not our lion's mane. I'm sorry. It's our ashwagandha. That's the other thing I'm going to talk about. My bad. I got myself confused for a second. Lion's mane is reported, like most known for its ability for nerve development, improvement in nerve development and functioning, which is like Alzheimer's disease and dementia, right? So it can also help repair nerve damage. If you're somebody who suffers from fibromyalgia, maybe that's nerve damage stuff too, right? It also is really well known to be able to relieve symptoms of mild depression and anxiety, but this is all mushrooms. Okay. We're talking all mushrooms. Chaga also is something about that. And if you ask me, just based on the fact that mushrooms are more closely related to us and all of the other stuff, I bet you that has something to do with it. It's just me kind of piecing together pieces in my head. But the lion's mane here are wise. I have taken her wise pretty much ever since the day that I started. And I definitely noticed the days that I don't take it. Like it's not immediate, but if I come off of the lion's mane for like a week, like I start feeling not as happy. Like I really feel like I don't like, so it's really good for depression and anxiety. We stimulate the growth of new brain cells. It helps protect your stomach lining, which also might protect against ulcers. Lion's mane also slows blood clotting. So this could increase bruising and bleeding in people with conditions. Just FYI, that was something I found that I didn't know at all until I did my little research, is that like if you have people that are on what do they call them? Anticoagulants, like anti-clotting stuff, like they probably shouldn't do lion's mane, is what I'm finding. And this is, I don't want to say this is your responsibility to know, but you should know these things. You know what I mean? If you find out something about a product that we have that is not good, like for instance, just in case you don't know it, 5-HTP isn't good to take with SSRIs. It can cause serotonin syndrome, which is basically a dangerous increase in your serotonin level. So if somebody is taking an anti-anxiety med that's an SSRI and then they happen to take our Vibe High together, it could be bad for them. Now, you are responsible for maybe giving somebody that information, not for what they do, but if you know it, you do have somewhat of an obligation to tell somebody these things. So I just want everybody to know that as well. Diabetics also could be very benefited by lion's mane mushroom, but should be advised they need to pay attention to their blood sugar levels because it could help reduce their symptoms. So that's another thing. Last thing I'm going to talk about briefly is our ashwagandha. Ashwagandha is another adaptogen that we have that's really good for anxiety. It's really good to reduce your stress-related food cravings, and enhancing your quality of sleep. It's great for memory and cognition. It can increase your endurance, your strength, and your immune function. It improves sexual function in women and men, and can also increase testosterone in men. So our ashwagandha is specifically KSM 66. This is very important because there are 24 double-blind, randomized, placebo-controlled clinical risk trial studies that prove that our ashwagandha does what it says it's going to do. That is huge. As somebody who has studied and has a psychology degree, that is insanely huge that we can make that claim. And you are allowed to make that medical claim because there are clinically backed studies on our ashwagandha. So when you are talking about our wildcat specifically, you are allowed to talk about this. And I want to say the lion's mane, but I don't have it out here. I'm sorry. I want to say the wise, but I don't have it out here. I do have the bottle of wildcat though. It says KSM 66 on it. Anyways, ashwagandha is our ashwagandha is only made from the root as well, just so you know. KSM 66 is just the root. So there are a lot of ashwagandha products out there. A lot of them use a combination of the root and the leaves. But in ancient medicine, it was really only the roots that ever were used. So we try to stick true to that by using the KSM 66, I believe. I went on their website. They have a website. You can totally go to it and read if you want to. They talk about how they soak it in milk and some other things, which I was kind of like, should we need to know about that for like people who might have dairy issues? But I'm guessing that whenever they do the extraction process, all that comes out of it, which I actually found was a proprietary blend or a proprietary thing to this specific company is the way they extract their ashwagandha. So I thought that was kind of cool too, because like we use proprietary stuff as well. Not wise, lies, roar. Sorry. Yes. Okay. That's what it was. Wildcat and roar. I knew it was the other bottle that looked like that. That's why I'm like, I don't think it's the wise, but something in my head is not there. Okay. So I think I'm done rubbing my mouth. I know I've talked for a long time, but I hope that I have babbled out some things that you guys at least can pick a couple to just go and run with it. Look, somebody is just going to find that fact interesting. I literally put a 1-minute video in my stories and Darnell made a post about it today and it's blowing up. Like that's how quickly you can spark conversation and ideas and that sort of thing. So seriously, if something I said caught your interest, write it down real quick and tomorrow morning be like, did you know that this is a thing? Did you know that whatever? I don't know, pick one. Did you know that ashwagandha can improve testosterone in men? People are going to be like, wait, what? My man needs some more testosterone. Tell me more. You know? So just saying. I did not cover the benefits of ashwagandha. I'll read through these real quick. On this thing, it says some people take ashwagandha by mouth for anxiety, arthritis, cancer, chronic fatigue, congestive heart failure, depression, diabetes, fertility problems, headache, HIV/AIDS, immunosuppression, insomnia, joint pain, lactation problems, memory loss, mental health problems, motion sickness, nerve pain, respiratory infection, sexual problems, and tuberculosis. Just so you know, 4,000 years of study in the oldest medicine usage in like the world, that Ayurvedic, I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but it's like one of the most ancient used medicines. They've been using ashwagandha for forever. It is advised, in case you're interested, that you take a break every 3 months, couple weeks. So take with that what you will. I know there are plenty of people here who have used products for over a year and a half, just fine. The daily recommended doses of ashwagandha, if you look at like, you know, all these things, again, is up to 600 milligrams. Our products don't have quite that much in it, and we're using the good stuff. So I'm thinking that maybe the leaves have something to do with it. Again, do your research. If you didn't yet, hopefully you will now, because that's the type of stuff you can find. Dr. Google.
That was so good. That was so good. I learned so much from both of you. I love her ashwagandha tips. I will never come off of it, period. I can't take breaks. I can't. I love it too much. I feel too good. And I feel so shitty again when I go off of it. And I'm sure that it's my body being used to it, and you're taking something away that you're used to. And it's the same thing. I'm sure I would adjust, but man, I've just been so much better with ashwagandha in my life than I was before. And a tolerance break from everything is always good, right? From everything in life. Like, so I mean, I can understand that. I don't want to though. Like, I don't want to.
It's just to mention that like these are things that I found out, and it's more like if you start, you know, you guys, part of this whole thing in health and wellness is being very in tune with what's happening in your own body so that you can teach people how to be that way. You know what I mean? You have got people, for whatever reason, are so afraid to give themselves permission to heal the way they know that they probably should. Like people will take a medicine that they know isn't working for them for years because a doctor told them to. And they're like, well, I don't know, the doctor gave it to me, they said it's going to work, but I don't feel like it's doing anything. Pop, pop, pop. It's like, do you know that you can stop that? Like, you could go get a second opinion. I know Chris is like, I did that.
That's me. 2.5 years of taking, you know, try this, try that, let's increase this, let's increase that, let's add this, let's add that. And I was spiraling. I just kept going further and further down. And you're absolutely right. I was and he kept pushing on me. He kept wanting me to take another chemotherapy infusion. And I was like, I did stand up for that one. It didn't work the first time. Why would I do that again? But again, and I will say that watching my own self, my own body heal and bringing that to him gave me the confidence to say, yeah, okay, I'm done with this one. I want to get off this. This is next. And you're absolutely right, because he's supposed to be the expert, but I'm the expert at my body, not him.
Exactly. And I think that so many people forget that. And I know, I'm not saying fortunately, I don't have a lot of health issues that I have to deal with, but I have seen a good amount of my friends that just believe it. I know what I've researched. I have my own beliefs, and I just really am all about empowering people to make decisions that are best for themselves. And I believe that as people who are trying to specialize in alternative medicine, if you will, we also need to be expressing that to our people. Like, hey, I've done my research, but I encourage you to do yours. I really encourage you to pick up. Who knows, you guys, they might go down a rabbit hole and they might end up really wanting to join you just because you told them to look at Chris. Not only did she try the products, she became on board, and she's like, I don't care what type of money I make here. I just want to help somebody else heal. And that is what it is all about. And that is what it can be about if we learn what these products can do, and you have the faith that they are going to do what they say they are. I get a new fire lit under my ass every time somebody tells me the benefit that they found from our products. I'm like, yes, I knew you were going to. Every time I have a mom tell me, I didn't yell at my kids today, I love those freaking pink pills, I'm like, yes, I knew somebody else was going to be helped by this one day, right? So like, we can do this. I have absolute faith that, I know, because this is Team High Vibes Down, like I seriously have faith that High Vibes is the next mogul. We're going to be the first mogul team in the business, because we are the ones here who care about learning and educating on what these products can do. And I think that if you guys showed up here today, that's going to be what actually makes the difference in people's lives, that keeps them on this path and is the change for the future that like the entire world needs. Let's be honest. We're part of a movement.
Yeah, we really are. I mean, it is so spot on. And everything that you ladies just touched on, I think was excellent. And I think that it was also very compliant, everything that you guys said. And I'll put this on my YouTube. I am going to share this with people. Like I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm going to share this with people because I feel like anybody that's maybe on the fence and they want to like talk to me about like, well, what's this? Watch this. You're this person. This is a great training for people that really need a little bit more about why these products are good. This is amazing. And I think that, again, it's why Chris ended up joining, and her whole life has been changed. Right? And I feel like we just don't do these enough. So I would like to get back to doing these product trainings at least once every like 6 weeks. We get a new fresh one in, because we're also always coming out with new products too. Like, we didn't even touch on THCV or terpenes tonight at all. Like that's a whole nother like ball game, right? So we have a lot of amazing products here. We have a lot of like things that can help people heal. They just have to be willing to listen. And this might get somebody to actually listen because they listen to this training. So I appreciate you both so much for doing this and coming on. Chris, you have something else to say because you're unmuted, and I love it.
I just wanted to say that, a lot of times when someone will ask me, what is this and why, and they want to know, why is it working? Well, now I can tell them why, right? I don't know. It just works for me. For me, that's not an answer. I don't want to hear that. I need to know, why is it working? I'm the Google person where Google says, okay, I'm tired, go to bed. There's no more Google tonight. That's me, right? Because I have to know. But that's what this is. And if I didn't have that information, I absolutely would have never jumped. I just wouldn't have. So I just think it's so important because, again, it's something you're putting in your body, and it's important to know what you're putting in your body, especially if you're looking for a result.
The fact is, people who want this business, who see the opportunity, are going to jump. People who see the community are going to jump. People who see that we just got a good thing going on and it's fun, they're going to jump. The people who aren't going to jump are the ones you're telling, just trust me. They're going to be like, no.
No, thank you. No, thank you. I'm not going to trust you. You're pretty, but I'm not going to trust you. Yeah. Like, I totally understand that. And I agree. And we are in a very weird time where nobody's trusting anybody, where people are talking about, things being sprayed into our environments and poisoning our foods and all the things. And I don't know what's true and what's false. And I don't know what to believe anymore. And I'm just going to do my own research and try and do the best that I can for me. Right. And this, what you two ladies did here tonight, this was extremely educational. And I think that it will help so many people be like, oh, wow, maybe I really should look at lion's mane mushroom. Maybe I really should look into ashwagandha instead of taking all this Adderall and stuff like that. I'm not even going down that rabbit hole because we only have a minute left. But this could change somebody's life. And I love it. And you know what? I encourage both of you ladies to go on your own personal Facebook and do this, because damn, you schooled us. Think about the people that don't even understand this community and don't even understand the power of hemp and mushrooms. You could go live and just do this, do your little thing for 10, 20 minutes, and God knows whose life you could change. And all of you that were on here tonight, go live and be like, okay, there's these two amazing queens on my team who taught me all these things. Here's my notes, and I'm going to tell you everything they said tonight, right? Educate somebody else. It's awesome. This was awesome. I'm so proud of you both. Thank you so much for doing this. We will be back on next Wednesday, and I hope you all have a beautiful night, and I love you all. See you soon.